Depression isn't just crying in a dark room. Sometimes it's a quiet plague that hides behind a smile. Today, we're looking at 8 hidden signs you might be suffering from depression without even realizing it. Stick around until the end, because the last sign is something we all ignore. Number 8, your self-esteem has hit rock bottom. Depression makes your brain a bully. It changes how you see yourself. When you are struggling with constant fatigue and low mood, your mind begins to turn against you. Your self-esteem might drop so low that you start seeing yourself as useless or a burden to others. You might find yourself constantly dwelling on your past failures. Your mind becomes flooded with memories of every stupid mistake you've ever made, every awkward conversation, and every missed opportunity. You start to see these memories as objective proof that you are completely worthless, even when the people around you see your value. This is the voice of depression. It's a liar that magnifies your flaws and hides your strengths. An especially serious problem that should never be taken lightly are suicidal thoughts. If you ever feel like the world would be better off without you, please remember that there is help available. You are valuable and your life matters. Reach out to local emergency numbers or hotlines in your country immediately. Number 7, you constantly feel down and tired. You are always tired. We are only human after all, and we all have our bad days. Maybe a project didn't go well, or you had an argument with a friend. However, there is a big difference between a bad day and a constant state of exhaustion. When you start feeling hopeless and don't even want to get out of bed for days on end, you are entering dangerous territory. According to experts, if your lack of energy lasts for days, even though your routine hasn't changed much, this is a major red flag. Do you feel tired as soon as you wake up? Does even the simplest task, like brushing your teeth or making a cup of tea, feel like climbing a mountain? This constant fatigue is one of the primary symptoms of depression. It's not laziness. It's your body's way of saying that your mental battery is drained. Analyze your current situation thoroughly. If your exhaustion is more mental than physical, you need to take it seriously. Number 6, concentration and memory problems. Have you noticed that you can't seem to focus on anything lately? According to doctors, when you're depressed, your concentration suffers big time. You might start forgetting important things, like appointments or deadlines, and have trouble remembering names or specific details of conversations. Listening to someone talk, or even trying to read a simple book, becomes a massive challenge because you can't focus on what's happening in the present moment. Your mind is elsewhere, trapped in a cycle of negative thoughts. Making decisions, even small ones like what to eat for dinner, becomes incredibly difficult. You feel paralyzed, unable to put your finger on what you want or how. You feel paralyzed, unable to put your finger on what you want or how to move forward. However, it's important to note that mental fog alone might not signal depression. If this is the only sign you have, it might just be stress. But when combined with the other signs on this list, it's a strong indicator of a deeper issue. Number 5, troubles sleeping, insomnia versus hypersomnia. Another major part of your life that changes significantly with depression is your sleeping pattern. This can manifest in 2 opposite ways: insomnia or sleeping for far too long. When you're suffering from depression, you might crave sleep as an escape, yet find yourself unable to fall asleep because your mind is racing with anxiety. On the other hand, you might find yourself sleeping for 10 or 12 hours and still waking up without any energy. You feel like you could spend the whole day in bed, and we aren't talking about a fun day in bed, watching movies and eating snacks. We are talking about lying in bed for hours, staring at the ceiling, with no desire to move or engage with the world. If your relationship with your bed has become a way to hide from life, consider it a serious red flag. Number 4. Unexplained weight changes. With all the emotional roller coasters you go through during depression, your physical appearance is bound to change. One of the most common things depression affects is your weight and appetite. It can go either way. You might suddenly gain weight because you are using food as a way to cope with your emotions, or your weight might drop drastically because you've lost all interest in eating. Specialists say that if there is an unintentional change of more than 5% of your body weight within a single month, it could be a sign of depression. Just like your emotional state, your eating habits become unstable. You might feel starved no matter how much you eat, or you might stop feeling hunger altogether. Your body is reflecting the internal chaos of your mind. Number 3. Anhedonia. Nothing brings you pleasure. One of the most heartbreaking symptoms of depression is something called anhedonia. This is when things that once brought you joy now feel meaningless. Your favorite food, that TV show you used to love, or the video games you spent hours playing, they all feel meh now. Even people you adore and love hanging out with don't seem to spark any happiness in you anymore. You find yourself constantly bored and tired, with no desire to engage in your lifelong hobbies or meet up with your best friends. You start isolating yourself because you feel like you have nothing to contribute to the conversation. Another area often affected is a decreased sex drive. The key here is to look for a steady, unexplained loss of interest in everything that makes life worth living. If the color has gone out of your world, depression is likely to blame. Number 2. Intense mood swings and irritability. When we think of depression, we think of sadness, but often it looks more like anger. When you're depressed, you might feel constantly anxious, irritated, or short-tempered, and you probably can't even explain why you become extremely frustrated with a lack of basic tolerance for the people around you. Everything and everyone annoys you to no end. This can get especially scary when it turns into reckless behavior or substance abuse as an attempt to numb these overwhelming emotions. It's not just being ticked off all the time, it's a cycle of mood swings. You can go from a fit of rage to a puddle of tears in the blink of an eye. Physical symptoms like rapid breathing, sweating, and extreme nervousness can also be signs of anxiety and panic attacks that often walk hand in hand with severe depression. Number 1. Random mood swing. Finally, the emotional outbursts and constant feeling of hopelessness throw your entire physical health out of whack. It is very common for depressed people to suddenly experience unexplained aches and pains, most frequently in the joints or the back. Digestive problems are also a huge concern. You might have stomach issues that aren't caused by anything you ate. The strangest part? These symptoms often don't go away with usual medical treatment because the root cause is mental, not physical. The earlier you deal with the mental state, the easier it will be for your body to recover. If at least 3 or 4 of these signs hit home for you, it likely means you are battling some form of depression. Conclusion and the path to healing. So, if you've identified these signs in yourself, what's next? The most important thing to remember is that depression is treatable, and you don't have to go through it alone. According to experts, you can start healing by focusing on 3 areas: your body. Try to get at least 30 minutes of physical activity 3 times a week. It releases endorphins that naturally boost your mood. Ensure you get 7 to 8 hours of sleep and eat foods that nourish you. Your mind. Explore new experiences, even if it's hard at first. Practice mindfulness and try to stay present. Your spirit. Meditation can help you understand your thoughts without being overwhelmed by them. Most importantly, see a professional doctor or therapist immediately. They can provide the tools and support to make your path to recovery shorter and easier. If you suspect a friend is struggling, offer them a shoulder to cry on and encourage them to get help. What about you? Do you have your own methods for staying mentally healthy? Let us know in the comments below. Let's support each other. Don't forget to subscribe to Smart Psycho to stay on the bright side of life. Thank you for watching.